A very good morning to you, the Camnet TV viewers. This is the Breakfast Show, a show that comes to your screen every morning from 07 hours to 09 hours. We sincerely apologize for starting the program a little bit late, but here we are, and we are hoping to have a wonderful discussion with you, the viewer. They are watching us in the comfort of your home. Even if you're watching us on different platforms, it can be on your gadget. You're traveling out of the city, or you're traveling out of the country, or rather you're traveling for work somewhere, or you're just going for work this morning and you've tuned into Camnet TV. It can be on your Facebook page and other platforms. We do you acknowledge your presence this morning, and we are so excited that you can join us to have yet another exciting edition of the Breakfast Show. Today, Friday, specifically, remember, we look at business. What is it that we are discussing today? Now, interestingly, on Wednesday this week, Minister of Information and Media, Chushi Kasanda, made an announcement regarding the 2024 national budget. She said Cabinet has actually approved the 2024 national budget, which will be presented at the end of this month on the 28th of September by the Finance and National Planning Minister, Dr. Situmbe Komsokotwane. Remember, the Ministry of Finance has been asking stakeholders to submit what is it that they want to see in the 2024 national budget. And I hope you did also make submissions through your constituencies, through your ward development committees, with regards to what you intend to see in the 2024 national budget. What are some of the critical issues that the 2024 national budget should address? That is what we will be discussing this morning, and we hope to also have an interaction with you, the viewer out there. Just let us know what are some of the perspective and the things that you're looking forward to seeing in the 2024 national budget. We will be talking a little bit about the highlight of the 2023 national budget, how much was allocated to the education sector, social spending, to defense, to economic issues, and we will be doing a comparison as in what was there and what we should expect to see. So you too can be part of this conversation by sending us those messages on our Facebook page, and you can also just call in and make your submissions and contributions. So I am your host this morning, Prudence Chota, and I look forward to having a wonderful discussion with you. But before I bore you with a lot of talking, because I know I'll be doing a lot of talking throughout the program, let's go and see what the doctors have for us today on the Health Corner. Remember, this segment is not a diagnosis, it is just an advice of how you can live with certain conditions. So let's just ensure that when we hear what the doctors are saying, we visit health facilities. If ipatala, they are there for us to visit. Even when you look normal today, you might not know that you have BP, you have sugar, you have diabetes, you have these particular issues. Sometimes you just wonder why suddenly ka temperature kala nina that even if you're upset, you have a problem. So these tips by the doctors are here just to guide us on how we can live our day-to-day lives with different conditions that we found ourselves in. So let's zoom into the Health Corner this morning.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show. And today we are on the Health Corner. We're going to be talking about stroke. Yesterday we talked about what is stroke, and we say that a stroke is a brain injury that occurs when there's a blockage in the blood vessels in the brain, or there's a bleed in the blood vessels in the brain that causes a reduction in oxygen levels in the brain, and also blood supply generally to areas of the brain. So today we'll talk about exactly what causes someone to have a stroke, and also the risk factors that predispose someone to have a stroke. So like we have already mentioned, a stroke comes about when there is a blockage in the brain blood vessels, and also if there is a bleed in the brain, that causes a stroke. So what are some of the risk factors that somebody predispose someone to have a stroke? So one of them is diabetes. So people who have diabetes are prone to have stroke because of the high blood sugar levels that can lead to so many other complications in the body that can predispose them to have hypertension, predispose them to have high cholesterol. So people who have diabetes need to be able to check their cholesterol levels, their blood pressure levels. The other thing is your BP, of course. Hypertension is a risk factor for having stroke. So hypertension will not only cause a blockage in the brain, it can also cause you to have a bleed in the brain. If you have high blood pressure and your pressure or your blood pressure increases to become very high, it can cause you to have a stroke because of the high blood pressure that is there in the blood vessels. So it can cause a bleed in the brain and it can cause hemorrhagic stroke. The other risk factor is high cholesterol, like I have already mentioned. If you have high cholesterol, especially the bad cholesterol, which is known as the LDL cholesterol, this cholesterol can cause clots, or not really clots, but it can cause clumps that can cause blockages in the blood vessels, in the brain especially, and this can lead to having an ischemic stroke. The other thing that can predispose someone to have a stroke is age. So people who are older in age are more likely to also have stroke, and also males are more likely to have stroke than females. However, when a stroke attacks, when a female gets a stroke, they are more likely to die from the stroke than males. So the other risk factors include inactivity. If you do not exercise, you are always not exercising and not being active, you predispose yourself to having stroke. The other risk factors include not eating healthy foods and also not or taking too much alcohol and smoking tobacco. So alcohol is not good for our health. Even smoking is not good for our health as well. So if we engage in alcohol and tobacco smoking, then we are increasing our chances of having so many lifestyle diseases, and stroke is one of them. So these are some of the risk factors that predispose someone to have a stroke. So today we are learning that there are some causes of stroke that can, some risk factors that can predispose someone to have stroke, and these include having diabetes, having hypertension, and having high cholesterol can predispose you to have stroke. Also, we say that not exercising, not eating healthy, and smoking tobacco and drinking alcohol can also increase your chances of having a stroke.
There you have it. Stroke, stroke, stroke. That was Dr. Mfaya there giving us an update on some of the things that you expect if you have a stroke. When I heard her say, if you are a female and you have stroke, you're likely to die from it, I was like, eesh. I had good bumps. And she said, in order to avoid that, ensure that you start, exercising. And I'm going to start exercising immediately because I don't want to be prone to some of these illnesses, such as stroke, that can happen to anyone. It has no, segregation. It does not matter who you are, how much wealth you have. These are some of the things sometimes that attack even the wealthiest people, because disease sometimes does not segregate. It does not select who to attack and not to attack. The principle is just that ensure that you exercise. Doctors emphasize a lot about exercising. I don't want to go before my time, so I will abide by some of these advice that our doctors give us by ensuring that we exercise on a regular basis. So that was today's tip on our health corner, and we appreciate the doctor for that information. Even right about now also, we are going to look at how is it that our local currency is performing against other major convertibles. Let's look at kwacha and how it is performing against other major convertibles such as dollar, rand, and British pound and other convertibles. So we can look at the money market this morning. So there you are, and that is the money market for this morning. The Zambian kwacha against the Great British Pound is buying at 25 kwacha 60 ngwe and selling at 25 kwacha 66 ngwe. The Zambian kwacha against the euro is buying at 21 kwacha 60 ngwe and selling at 22 kwacha 03 ngwe. The Zambian kwacha against the South African rand there is buying at 1 kwacha 07 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 09 ngwe. The Zambian kwacha against the United States dollar is buying at 20 kwacha 26 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 65 ngwe. So that is the Camnet TV money market for today, Friday, the 15th of September 2023. We are counting down already to the end of 2023, and we have seen quite a number of economic fundamentals in our economy. They are not moving according to what we expected. After all the announcements and pronouncements that have been made, I know we expected our local currency by now to be at least performing better than we are seeing it, but this is the way things are. Zambian kwacha against the US dollar there, you've seen buying at 20 kwacha, and against South African rand, we are equally not doing well. They are 1 kwacha 06 ngwe. Is not a good development. We wish the UPND administration all the best as they deliberate. Remember, when they fail, we fail. When they succeed, we also succeed, because we do feel the pinch of what is happening in the economy. So we wish all the leaders the best. We pray for you, and we hope God will give you the wisdom and the knowledge, to rule this country in our favor. So that is the money market there, which we just saw. But even about now, we are going to zoom into some of the stories that made headline. Remember, you too can be part of the conversation this morning. Let us know what you have to say over the topic of discussion. What are we expecting in the 2024 national budget? The Minister of Information and Media, Chushi Kasanda, on Wednesday this week did announce that they have approved, Cabinet has approved the 2024 national budget, which is expected to be presented to Parliament on 28th of September this month. At the end of this month, we will be seeing the Finance Minister, Dr. Situmbe Komsokotwane, announce the 2024 national budget. So what is it that you are expecting to see in the budget that will address some of the challenges that we are faced with in the country? So that and many other things, you can be part of the conversation. But let's move to Mumbwa in Central Province, where, horrific things are happening, the things that we didn't think or imagine would happen in the country, such as, murdering a fellow human being, burning them in a tar. We just hear about these matters elsewhere in our neighboring countries happening, but this is happening right home, where a mob justice pounced on a businessman in Mumbwa and burnt him with a tar. Now, remember, there were accusations just 2 weeks ago. Let me just take you a little bit to what transpired and what led to the protest. So 2 weeks ago, I think a week ago, a man identified as Joseph was murdered. And when he was murdered, he was found with missing body parts. And the residents were agitated. He was allegedly found with missing body parts, which agitated the residents. They were not happy in the manner in which this resident died. So 2 days after his death, another resident was found dead in a similar circumstance. So the community members suspected this can be attributed to ritual killings. And when you have money, you run businesses, definitely, please don't misjudge me, sometimes people will look at you as being the cause of the bad things that are happening in the community. So 2 businessmen, one a Zambian and a Tanzanian national, who've been partnering in doing business, were accused by members of the community of having been behind the murder of the two residents. Also, one person was arrested by community members. They came together, arrested this particular person, and they took him to the police. But after taking him to the police, the residents realized to say, when we take people to the police most of the time, police don't act. So they started rioting, and they went to the police requesting that that particular person was handed to them in connection with a murder should be released. But police officers also have a responsibility and a duty to protect lives that are brought before them. So police officers refused to release this particular suspect to the mob. So the mob got agitated, and they started running, fighting battles with the police. So in the process, I don't know how community members mistook to say the police officers were running away, ran at a building, which is the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries. The same building was housing the Immigration Department, and the same building was also housing the Vet Department. So when the suspected police officers had run to that particular building, the residents decided to set the building on fire, and the building was burnt to ashes. But that building was containing some vet medicines that was supposed to be administered to animals and other livestock, animals in the district, but everything was burnt to ashes. These are the consequences when you do a mob. But what will you give your animals in Mumba district in case there is an outbreak? Repairing something or an infrastructure does not take a day, and it needs budgeting. Sometimes it takes years. So as it is today, if a disease broke out in Mumba, there will literally be no response because there is no Ministry of Livestock and there is no veterinary office in Mumba. Apart from that, now residents moved to these two businessmen who they suspected might have been behind the murder of their colleague. They pounced on them, they killed the first Zambian, they got, a tar and other things, they laid them before him and they lit them, and this person burnt to ashes. They went to the other one, they stabbed him, and he died. In the process, we've lost 4 people instead of just 2 people because of mob justice. So yesterday, the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbo, did visit Mumbwa together with Inspector General of Police and other police officers just to talk to the resident and calm them. We do sympathize with the people in Mumbwa because, waking up and finding your colleagues have been murdered, brutally murdered, is so painful. And Mumbwa is this peaceful district for years, and suddenly they start seeing cases of murder. So the residents were agitated and they started protesting, and the protest even went as far as yesterday. So we did see the Minister of Home Affairs address the press where he gave us an update of what is happening, and he appealed to members in Mumba district where even up to yesterday tension was still there to not take the law in their own hand. You can be in a group, but sometimes when the law catches up with you, you end up facing the law alone. Even the people you were sometimes following might not even be there. So this is what transpired. It's a very sad incident, and we sympathize with you, the people of Mumbwa. And even this morning, we would like to hear from you. How are things this morning? Has come to the district? Let's hear that and more. But let's zoom into this story that made headline that our reporter, Prudence, brought us yesterday. Let's see this. Known as a land rich in gold, Mumba district in central province of Zambia has now turned into a bloodbath following the death of 4 Mumba residents, 2 killed in suspected ritual, while the 2 have been killed by a mob that pounced on them on suspicion that they are behind the murder of the 2 earlier victims. The protest in the district has not ended in the death of the 2 prominent businessmen, but the destruction of properties as well.
What happened was quite unfortunate. There was a big mob, and I think the police was trying to disperse this mob. Somehow, I don't know what confusion was there, the mob thought the police were hiding in our building. So they charged towards this building, they were throwing stones.
The residents have also destroyed properties belonging to the 2 businessmen who have been murdered by the mob.
Yeah.
Community leaders are, however, not happy about the development and have appealed to the community to desist from engaging in mob justice.
Mao ya menza kambaze oli ya kansera ni akutitawo na response amene mwaka ya maonesa kulise ni chintu chikulu chameteka kuyanganapo mwaito chipemba kwa imwe mutendere.
Meanwhile, Home Affairs and Internal Securities Minister Jack Mwimbu, who addressed the press in Lusaka shortly after visiting the district, says 2 people have been arrested in connection with the ritual killing of the 2 residents whose body parts were found missing.
The other gentleman was killed. Is very disturbing. Joseph Miata, where body parts were removed. It's purported that those body parts were deposited in a fridge somewhere for use for whatever purpose. I understand the feelings of the people there.
The minister has since appealed to the residents to desist from engaging in mob justice, but report to his office any information that will lead to the arrest of people involved in the ritual killings.
Anyone to start destroying public property. Public property belongs to the people of Mumbwa. Like I did indicate earlier, the burning down of veterinary services buildings in Mumbwa will affect the people of Mumbwa seriously.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News. A very unfortunate incident there in Mumbwa district, where we just zoomed in that story that made headline in our news yesterday, where community members have taken to the street, destroying properties and, of course, vandalizing some properties. It did not just end, on the killing of the 2 businessmen who they suspected are behind the death of, the 2 earlier ones we spoke about who were killed in what is suspected as a ritual killing. And also the minister there did indicate that it is alleged that the body parts of one of the victims, Joseph, have been kept in a fridge somewhere. Those investigations are underway, and police officers arrested 2 people yesterday in connection with the killing of, the 2 community members. Remember, there are 4 people who've been killed in these incidents. The first 2 are the ones who were killed in what is suspected as a ritual killing, which prompted community members to protest, and in the process, they killed 2 people who they suspected are behind the death of the earlier 2 people. But what the minister has told us is, so far, from those who were protesting the mob justice, no one has been arrested, but 2 people have been arrested in connection with the death of the 2 earlier victims in what is suspected as a ritual killing. And also we know that there is information going around that those who were killed in the ritual killings, their body parts were removed and they are being kept in a fridge somewhere. The Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Securities will continue giving us updates on these particular incidents, but the plea and appeal is to the people of Mumbwa to not vandalize public property. As we speak, veterinary office was gutted to ashes. All the medicines that were stored at the department office were all destroyed. Today, if an outbreak comes into Mumbwa for animals, literally all the vaccines have been destroyed. Sometimes these are the consequences of mob justice. You end up even destroying innocent properties, and innocent people will have, to lose out because your animals will not have medications to be vaccinated in case there is something. Apart from that, we also know the office was housing the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries. As it stands, everything has been gutted by community members. We also saw, the police offices being, vandalized. A lot of things were happening in town, including innocent business owners had, their shops vandalized. People are walking away with things. This sometimes should be not the case. So Mumbwa, we love you, the people of Mumbwa. We would like to hear from you this morning. How is the situation in that particular district? You know, Mumbwa now has become to be known as a land of God. We do have a gold deposit in Mumbwa. A lot of mining is happening, a lot of illegal mining, a lot of legal mining is happening in Mumbwa because they've now discovered there is an influx of gold. But yesterday and the earlier days before that, we've seen blood being shed on the land that is known for its natural resources such as gold and others. We know lithium also there. We've heard there might be deposits which right now the government has banned mining, but this community has been peaceful for years. So you too can be part of the conversation. Let us know what you have to say this morning. Kingsley, there on my Facebook page, I could see you are saying good morning and accompanied by a message, good morning to you too. Shout out to everyone watching us on different platforms. We are just at a point where we are zooming into some of the stories that made headline in our news yesterday, and that one which we just played is one of the stories that made headlines. So you can be part of the conversation. Now, yesterday, something interesting happened in Parliament, which we will be zooming in, and we want to hear from you with regards to the conduct of the Nkana Member of Parliament, Binwe Ompundu, and the response from the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Moti. So yesterday, in case you're wondering, Nkana Member of Parliament, Binwe Ompundu, was sent out of Parliament by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Moti. This is after he debated on a point where a youth in his ward is alleged to have been in custody for 9 days now. So according to Mr. Mpundu, this particular person was arrested for, you know, just these small, there's no case that is small, pardon me, was arrested for a trespass. He committed a trespass offense and he was arrested. And that particular offense is, you know, bailable. You can have that person released without them having to spend so much days in custody. But this particular person, according to Mr. Mpondo, has been in custody for 9 days. So this did not, you know, augur well with the Honorable Member of Parliament, who decided to raise this point before the floor of Parliament to say the President has been preaching the rule of law, but what we are seeing is totally different, because this young man who just committed a trespass offense is now in custody for 9 days. But in the process of him debating, he was challenged by another Member of Parliament to say, you are presenting this particular, you know, incidents without providing evidence. Where is evidence to show that this person produced 3 working sureties and he was denied, you know, bond? And also, you know, he quoted some article in the Constitution that stipulates that when someone is before Parliament, they say A, B, 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 C, D, and that. But Mr. Mpundu was not happy with, you know, the point of order that was raised by the other Member of Parliament, and he challenged him. But that did not augur well with the Speaker of the National Assembly. So the question we are asking you this morning is, was Mr. Mpondo in order to debate the way he did, or what is your comment with regards to the way the Speaker of the National Assembly handled this matter? Let's just take a look at this, even as we debate this particular issue.
Honourable Member for Katombora, what's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, is the Honourable Member for Nkana in order to come to this House and say that there is somebody in cells for 9 days without laying evidence on the floor of this august House? Is he in order, Madam Speaker, to suggest that this government is abusing the rule of law when he has not even indicated and brought any evidence to suggest that they have availed sureties or anything? Is he in order to come here and start misleading himself and the nation? Is he in order, Madam Speaker? I thank you.
Order. Honourable members, as we debate, let's ensure that we are factual. And if we make any allegation, we should be able to tender. Honourable Member for Nkana, why are you saying what? Who are you saying what to? Honourable Member for Nkana, you were saying what as I was talking? Who are you addressing when you are saying what? No, that's not acceptable behavior, Honorable Member from Kana. I advise and told you, please desist from that unbecoming behavior. You are an honorable member of parliament, and when I'm addressing or guiding you, please take it as such. I'm just guiding you in accordance with our standing orders, even the manner in which you are sitting as I'm talking. What is... No, let's respect each other. It's important to respect ourselves. So, Honorable Member, if you have any evidence to lay on the table, or on the table of this House, to prove that indeed there is a person who has been unreasonably held in detention for 9 days, you can lay it on the table. Otherwise, please do not refer to it. You may proceed.
Madam Speaker, what will help us address issues is when we face realities. I'm not mad, Madam Speaker, to allege that I went to the Minister of Home Affairs.
Order. Honorable Member, I've made a ruling. Do not challenge.
Do not challenge. I'm not mad. These are things, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Nkana, please, I'm warning you. If you continue on that line, I'm going to curtail your debate.
No. Madam Speaker, this country needs support.
You are even putting your hands in the pocket.
Madam Speaker.
Wind up your debate.
Let me say this.
Wind up your debate, Honorable Member.
I'm here to represent my people.
Honorable Member for Ghana, wind up your debate.
I am here to represent my people. When I come here, colleagues, I don't come to play. When I bring issues, these are issues.
Honorable Member, now you are challenging what I've guided. Please, let's not go that route. I'm warning you, let's not go that route. Stick to your debate. Please stick to your debate. If you have nothing further to add, you can take your seat.
The rule of law entails the rule by the law. If a person is arrested,
order, your time is up.
Thank you. Taken to court.
Order. Honorable Member from Ghana, please leave the House. Honorable Member from Ghana, please withdraw that gesture that you were making to the other honorable member before you leave the House. Can you withdraw and apologize?
By the order of the Speaker, I have withdrawn the pointing and the word Iwe. But colleagues, these are serious matters.
Thank you. You may leave the House.
There you have it, a drama there in Parliament Ogad yesterday. And on Thursday, where Nkana Member of Parliament, Binwe Ompundu, was sent out of the House by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Madam Nelly Muti, on the point that his conduct does not befit that of a member of parliament, where you have to point at someone and of course use, language that at the end he was told, to, what's the word they say? Undo. If it's on a computer, we can say undo what you just did. And they went back and said, I undo the pointing and the coding of you. But these matters should be taken with the urgency that they deserve. So you two can be part of the conversation this morning. The question we are asking is, was the Nkana Member of Parliament, Bimwa Ompundu, in order to raise that particular point of order? And what is your response with regards to what the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, did to the area member of parliament? I know this particular topic has brought a lot of debate since yesterday when it happened. Throughout the night, I've been seeing quite a number of messages that are coming up, but you two can be part of the conversation. Let us know what you feel about that particular incident. Did the Speaker act fairly on Mr. Mpundu's, order, which he raised to say one particular young man in his constituency has been in custody for 9 days. This is against the rule of law, which stipulates that a person should not be kept in custody for more than, 48 hours without, being, granted the right to be out. As long as they can provide surety, you have the right to release them. So he raised that particular point of order, but it was challenged by Mr. Andeleki, who said you are bringing or debating matters without facts. You needed to bring facts before the floor to show that this particular person produced surety, but they were just denied bail. And other issues, came up. And now Mr. Mpundu was sent out of Parliament by the Speaker of the National Assembly based on that. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Madam. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. You're through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and you can go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, I'm coming from Slade. I was just I'm watching you now.
Okay.
Yes, concerning the matter which happened yesterday, over Musi and the Ghana Member of Parliament, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Madam Musi must give someone a chance to speak. Yeah, that man was considered here. The point to review according to where he was coming from in Kitu and Ghana. I don't know if I can say it's tribalism or because what I think back there. Yes, so I don't maybe what she did to the man, to my brother. It wasn't good. Checking him like that. Hey, go, wait. Someone allegedly finish up to explain his views. After he cutting more far. No, stop, wait, do this blue star. No, that's a good, not a good thing. I'm not happy with the reaction of Madam Moti.
All right.
Thank you, Madam. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for that contribution.
Yes, Madam.
Okay, we have a contribution there coming from Lusaka, where our caller says he is not happy with the conduct of the Speaker of the National Assembly because Mr. Mpundu has the right to debate. He was supposed to be given a chance to express himself, but not reprimanding him, or rather rebuking him in the manner that the Speaker did. You too can be part of the conversation. Let us know what you have to say over this particular clip that we just played, where the Speaker of the National Assembly, Madam Nelly Mutis, did send Mr. Binwell Mpundu, who's the Nkana Member of Parliament, out of the House yesterday after he raised debate with regards to a particular young man in his constituency who has been in police custody for 9 days without being granted permission to step out of the cells despite producing surety. And of course, we did see Mr. Mpundu there mentioned to say he has even visited the Ministry of Home Affairs to raise these concerns, but no one has been responding to his concerns. So yesterday, he thought he should bring it before the floor of the House. But the Speaker was not, impressed with the way Mr. Mpundu was responding to Mr. Andeleki, who raised the point of order on that particular incident. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Madam.
Fine, thank you, sir. You're through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling you from Kitwe. My name is David Spiri.
Mr. David Spiri from Kitwe. It's good to know Kitwe is watching this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution.
I think I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy with the number of the Speaker. Because Mr. Bino was on track. He was right in what he was saying. For someone to get that response, they are even meant to say, more than 2,000 for the president. Now, where is the law? Which the president impeachment of? And the madam there, she knows what is happening in the police. You can't be given the president for free. And the president knows that to present that issue to government. Let's take it serious. That's a serious matter. People are not to comment there. But nowadays, what to say? After people here, those guys who are just construction combat is closed. They are made to say money for them to live in there. And they were there for more than 15. They are treating teachers to go for them. And we speak to them, there is anything in court. But they were made to pay for that there. And among the people who have the money to those guys, I think someone was in their given basement. And yet the member of parliament is there presenting serious issues which are taken to the people. No, let's look at judgment. We must not see issues when we go to the competition. Even people who things should favor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Piri, for that contribution there coming from Kitwe on the Copper Belt, someone who's familiar with this particular case or incidents. That is Mr. Davis Piri, who's given us his perspective on this particular issue, and he says he is not happy. What is happening in Kitwe is sad because police officers are making people pay before they can be granted those bails and bonds. They have to pay about 2,000 kwacha. What for those who might not have that particular fee, but they have produced sureties? What is the way forward? They say the rule of law is not being fairly applied, and the people of Zambia need to wake up. So you too, pardon me, can be part of the conversation. Let us know what you have to say over this particular incidents. Hello, good morning.
Morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. You're through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and you can go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I'm Chipampa from Undola.
Ah, Mr. Chipampa from Undola. Please go ahead.
Thank you. In the first place, I want to appreciate what you are doing.
Thank you.
Then, yes, please. Madam Speaker, I'm disappointed with the behavior of Madam Speaker. Because, members of Parliament are honorables. So whenever honorables are talking, they must be given the respect they deserve. If honorables are not given the respect, then where are we going? It's like the Madam Speaker is acting like a channel and teaching those pupils in grade 1, not even at the secondary level. She has to improve. We are not happy. We are supporting the UPND government with the able leadership of His Excellency HS, but Madam Speaker, she's always out of the way. Please, she has to improve. I'm very disappointed the way she's behaving. Thank you.
That is Mr. Chipampa there from Undola on the Copper Belt, who's equally added his voice to this particular matter, and he says he is not happy with the conduct of the Speaker of the National Assembly. According to Mr. Chipampa, he does support the UPND administration and the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, but the Speaker was not in order to address parliamentarians as though they are grade 1 pupils. That is according to Mr. Chipampa from the Copper Belt in Ndola, who's equally added his voice on this particular matter. You too can be part of the conversation and let us know what you think of this particular incident. Did the Speaker act in order when he asked Mr. Binwa Wampundu to leave Parliament yesterday when he debated a matter in which a youth in his constituency has been arrested, or rather is detained in police custody for now 9 days without being granted bond? According to Mr. Mpundu, this particular young man has met all the conditions to be released. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Fine, thank you. You're through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you. Mr. Joe Liambai.
Mr. Joe
Liambai.
Oh, Mr. Liambai, please go ahead with your contribution.
I'm calling from Mongo.
It's good to know Mongo is tuned in this morning.
Yes. I'd like to give my view over the story that is happening there. Yes. I'm in support of the Speaker. As a member of Parliament in the first place, you should be very mindful how you are presenting yourself. You know, there is a thing that goes on to say, each and every face can tell a story. you are talking to your mom, you're holding your hand in your pocket. It doesn't show you respect. Furthermore, I don't know if the honorable member of Parliament has exhausted all the platforms in future before bringing this issue of criminal trespass on the national table. There is the option side. There is the regional commander in Kito. Did they approach them before bringing this state issue to the National Assembly? May I believe so the National Assembly, there are so serious issues that are supposed to be debated there. That for a small issue of criminal trespass to be brought before the attention of the nation. So I'm in line with the speaker what he has done. That's the right thing. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Job Siambai there from Mongo. It's good to know Mongo is watching this morning, and according to Mr. Siambai, he is in support of what the speaker did. To begin with, Mr. Mpondo was wrong to have spoken to the speaker while his hands were in his pocket. And he also says, did he exhaust all the options that are there? Did he visit the officer in charge on the copper belts, the commissioner, before bringing that matter to, the floor of Parliament? So that is according to Mr. Siambai. They are giving us his perspective on this particular matter. We also know that Mr. Mpondo yesterday did mention that he visited the Ministry of Home Affairs to raise this particular concern, but he was not given the much attention. That's why he brought it before the floor of the House. But Mr. Siambai is right. We should ask whether he did visit maybe the offices on the copper belts. Hello, sir. Good morning. Twabuka fiem kwai wino badishani. Babwaja from Mondola we twaufa wino kumfa kukulimwe. Please kuti mwapitilila na contribution.
Speaker on National Assembly. Bantu ngamatuma ne National Assembly there to ala moseneti akiwe le sisi kunse to mala twala mwe. Abamudia icho bali bila kupanga amafunde alipangwa kale. Yeye kwela ki unapini wanafundisha kula ndafia adino kuka baka kukola wala bakalambana chia ina kunita wa ngazana wa umafea. Kwa mwezi mpocho baka kula wote lechita. Not to go to Parliament. Parliament is managed. But sure, I want to ask you what you want to ask. But it seems to think about what I'm saying. Don't be sure that it's about the vision of flavor. She put a good Joseph to move Parliament. She Joseph Parliament. Nobody can come fight. That family got to move and worldwide. Put one Parliament. That's your Parliament video file. This video by the spectators. So then, would that video into Panay the act what I mark? The relative of our number is counter. So I think video for I will take it to the chat. Not push.
Twatotram kwa Mr. Walia. Okay, that is Mr. Walia from Mondola, equally making a contribution on this particular matter, and he stands with Mr. Siambai, who said the speaker acted in order. It's not all issues that you have to bring before the floor of the House. Others use other channels, such as visiting the officers in charge in this particular district. You can visit the commissioner in that particular district, the commissioner of police. That's why those people are there. Exhaust all the options before you bring them before the floor of the House. So that is according to Mr. Walia, who just called from Mondola. You too can be part of the conversation. Let us know what you have to say. You can also leave us those messages on our Facebook page, and my director will be able to display them so that we can just hear your contribution towards this particular matter. Did the Speaker of the National Assembly yesterday act in order when he sent Mr. Mpondo out? Hello? Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you, sir. How are you?
George Mukuma from Livingston.
Mr. George from Livingston there. Please, sir, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes. What you need to know is that MPs are representing people. Binoy Mpondo was debating the motion that was there. Binoy Mpondo was pointing us to the points which were spoken by the president. He was giving
happening in this nation is this. Leaders at any level, they want to rule by the way as if they are ruling their own house, which is not right. When you have been appointed as the leader of a certain institution, put aside the way you rule your house and rule that institution as it should be. Let me tell you, Prudence, that parliament, the TV, is being watched in Namibia, is being watched in Zimbabwe, is being watched in Botswana. Some of us who travel outside the country, we feel shame when they ask us that why your parliament now is like this. They are laughing at us. Please, let us begin to do things very well. Let us be above the board. To be sent out, it was wrong. It was not right. Pundu was defective. And let me tell you what is on the ground. What is on the ground, most of the people are bemoaning the affairs of that parliament today. Pundu is among the best MPs that we have in this nation. Christopher Kangombe is one of them. Mulanda Kampasa is one of them. Mukosa is one of them. These are young, brilliant MPs. When they are defecting, even as we feel we are in Zambia. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. George Mukuma there from Livingstone. God bless you too. That is Mr. George Mukuma from Livingstone, who says, as someone who travels out of the country, what is happening in Parliament here in Zambia has now become a laughingstock out there because everyone is asking. He says Mr. Binwa Mpondo is one of the best MPs that we have in the country and he should be given a chance to debate. And he does not agree with the conduct of the speaker. So let us hear what you two have to say with regards to this particular issue. I know we've got quite a number of opposing views that are coming in. Others are saying Mr. Mpondo did act in accordance with the law because he was debating on a matter that he did not exhaust all the options before bringing them on the floor of the House. Others, as we've just heard from the previous caller, are saying Mr. Mpondo acted in accordance with the law because he is representing the people, and when you feel aggrieved, you go that route. Good morning. Tauka bwino mami, mauka bwanji.
Tauka bwino.
Muli through ku Camnet TV. Tuuza nkoni mazina na kwa mine muchitumila.
Omiri kuchira bombwe nine medium chanya.
Chidabombwe ba Miriam Chama. People from Chidabombwe are now speaking Nyanja. We are excited. So you can go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Ili turatamba parliament.
Mkwai.
Basi turamuna ba Madam Speaker fela chitataba chitabwino. Bampundu bali right. Ba Madam Speaker kabali pena bampundu chance ukuleka balondolo lese bali fokulanda. And then nga balondolo bamuna tatiri bwino. Era babe bampundu ikale ni bisinto sidiri bwino tunakambe bwino. So munaona wafaina problem. Munaona huko ujata na uratine kapena nikamsubati kuja pa news. Banani lepigira bana babiri, ba polisi nayo muda tulindo alepinga bana Afrika atoke papeo ni sari sinkuru ngako ya 15. Bali mundu anapanga mlango sasa wewe mundu kudanga wasiku nyushalakwa. Na ile ngumpata idea mpundu. Hawa mpundu ili so. Dan tukisha Madam Speaker wachika. Sasa kitabu ndio tunaona. Tumatamba zato tumatia matizi ni kuona kichipika mzigo ni vichani na vichani amatamba mboseleza kuosa kuvijawa machika tena usachitapi. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Miriam there from Chililabombwe, equally adding a voice. You know why I'm so excited about Madam Miriam's call? At least I have a female calling me on the program, and she says the reason why we buy TVs is so that we can be following what is happening in the nation. Madam Miriam, kudos to you. as a female, I feel so encouraged and I feel happy that you are watching what is happening in the nation, and you too can, contribute on the topic this morning. So that is my first female caller, and, I am so excited. But I'm equally excited to everyone who's called, giving us your perspective on this particular issue. Of course, Madam Miriam there says, we are not happy with what has been happening in Parliament because we've been watching, and Madam Speaker has not been fair in the way she applies the law. So that is a caller from Chilila Wombwe, all the way from the Copper Belt. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Fine, thank you. You are through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and you can go ahead with your contribution.
Is this one live?
Yes, it's live. You are live on Camnet TV. Hello?
Okay,
can you just tune down the volume on the TV set?
This is Isaac.
Mr. Isaac?
Yeah, Mr. Isaac. Okay. I'm getting in, yes?
Mr. Isaac, reduce the volume on your TV set and then you can go ahead with your contribution. You are live on Camnet TV, so you can tell me where you're calling me from, but just reduce the volume on your TV set.
Okay. Okay, I've just done that.
Oh, thank you so much. So, Mr. Isaac, where are you calling me from?
Okay, I'm calling from Lusaka.
It's good to know Lusaka is tuned in this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, so what I would love to contribute this month is that, Parliament is the house which makes the laws for us. And, every suspect which are being presented in Parliament, they are acting accordingly. So when a member of Parliament is presented his debate, what is supposed to be done is that there must be the debate which will give answers. Now, in this case, from what I've seen, is that the member of Parliament presented his content, and then there was no response which was given. There was no debate which was done. It was just a presentation, but no answer was given. Which simply means that whatever he had prepared to say or present this, it was an answer. Now, the reason why people watch Parliament is to see the concerns which have been presented and also the feedbacks which are being given, because we are learning a lot out of the thing. The more we are watching Parliament, the more they are presenting their content, the way they respond, we are learning as a country. But apart from that, I would like to mention this, that the MPs, when they are presenting in Parliament, they should present with honor and also with respect. With respect. The Speaker of the National Assembly, she is a woman, yes, but she has to be respected by virtue of the powers that she holds in Parliament. So somehow we find that when she tells a member of Parliament to say, you are not in order, we expect the member of Parliament to get to understand what the Speaker is saying, and quickly the MP is supposed to do the right thing by maybe presenting what is supposed to be done in Parliament. So it is not every time that maybe the Speaker says you are not in order, then the MP will just sit down there, or maybe will continue talking something which is not in order. When the Speaker says you are not in order, maybe there is something which she has seen to say this is not right. So MPs are not supposed just to be speaking anyhow in Parliament. They are supposed to present. And when it is not in order, that's why the Speaker is there to correct. Because people will be speaking anyhow in Parliament. They will be talking anything. Even if someone is not in order, they will continue talking because the speaker is not very stiff.
Okay.
So we expect also, we cannot condemn the speaker, no. The speaker is doing the right thing because she also wants order in parliament. I think that is what I can give out right now. But also the speaker should ensure that what has been presented in parliament is debated upon so that a response can be given. Even the citizens of the country that are watching parliament are able to learn something out of it. Because when they sit there, it is not only them, but they also sit on behalf of many. As we are watching, we are learning. So if there is no debate there, then there is nothing that we are doing.
Thank you.
We appreciate Camnet TV for bringing this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac there from Lusaka, just adding his voice on that particular incident. He has given, when they say both sides of the coin, he has given both sides of the coin. We can't add, we can't subtract, but of course he has given us a powerful submission there. So that is Mr. Isaac from Lusaka, who was equally giving us a perspective on this particular topic that we are discussing this morning. So Mr. Isaac there has also added his voice. You too can be part of the conversation. We're just going to see some of the messages that are coming through with regards to that particular issue so that we can also accommodate those who are watching us on different platforms, that is on our Facebook page and of course other particular platforms, with regards to that particular incident where the Speaker of the National Assembly, Madam Nelly Moti, yesterday sent Mr. Binwa Mpundu, Nkana Member of Parliament, from the floor of the House after it is alleged that he was not in order to continue debating on that particular matter when the Speaker ruled that he was not supposed to continue. So that is what we were discussing this morning. I'm just trying to get through to some of the messages that we have on our platform. Mr. Edward Mwansa there, when I was just about to read the comment, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my brother.
Sir, good morning, thank you. How are you?
Thank you.
It's good to know Kitwa is tuned in this morning. Please, sir, go ahead with your contribution.
They are direct.
Mkwai.
To my side. Number one, no to what we don't find a good land. Number Madam Nelly Moti. Pamoja kwa na vena pati wakaja baba yuende mwe mwana kuri zulu kwa mshika na kwa opposition so we want ile la PF kabati barande bale muti tabata fair but ona ruling party ngalanda tabata commission tatweteka mkwena Zambia ubutungurushe kwabaneli mu shishe parliament ngana ibakulira so shishe loto bangatama member of parliament akamaka ba opposition ama independent ba PF abaneli mu ngafanya impeachment babatako impeachment ba parliament dai bakulira baneli mu badiani bakaja baba UPND so baneli mu Kapela kwata bilo mti pale apela bino mkundwa isalilo angeli munti basalilo baba tontere so bakuli bati kutanya umuntu wasalilo le kintu wingi no muntu akwewa twamuta point baleli muntu akwewa ichefya ya parliament twabatwala mu kemuya baba ntire baba batwala mu kutuba UPND kuja mtakateka wao so bakwewa tinkamera Zambia inti abakola baleli munti ni shikuma kuri yo na ine Tashikumamo tabashengombe uko bati ishimbe akashengombe for generi mundial impya cyacalo to baneri muntu bakuri bayiteka sana mu parliament bakuri babafeya ore bareta jaji bakuri babafeya binwe umuntu
Okay, so that point has been noted there. Controversy, perspective coming in on this particular issue. My director, I don't know if you can have those messages on TV so that we can just see what people are saying with regards to this particular issue. I know I've got these messages, but my gadget is not in favor of my eyes. Perhaps if I can see it on a bigger screen, we can be able to just see what other people are saying there with regards to this particular incident. We've got quite a number of views opposing and, what do you say, proposing and opposing views on this particular incident. Others are saying the speaker did not act in order. I've seen someone on our platform is asking, what is the number to call? The number is actually on the screen. If you're seeing there's a number that is scrolling on the screen that keeps popping, coming up, popping. Yes, that is, of course, the number that you can call. We've got our Airtel number there and our MTN number. You too can be part of the conversation this morning and let us know what you have to say with this particular issue. Did the speaker act in accordance? Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Sir, good morning. Thank you. You are through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. You can go ahead with your contribution.
This is Mr. Mwanza,
Mr. Mwanza, please go ahead with your contribution.
I'm following the debate, or I'm following the calling in. I'm quite disappointed with the third speaker. They are big people. And the way they are coming out, supporting the speaker of what he's doing. I think to me, they are setting a bad example to the youth. Because the country is listening. And the youth are trying to follow and listen to what is happening in Parliament. And then they are busy supporting the Speaker of National Assembly. That female was elected by the member, the community. And then the community, they are the ones who speak to the area member of Parliament. And they are telling the area member of Parliament, we want you to talk, we want you to speak on this and that in Parliament. And here is the speaker who is shooting him down. Whatever he wants to say, he is shooting him down. It is surprise. Father, at times, when somebody is in motion, can put his hands in the pocket by mistake because he's amused or he's amazed or he's wondering of how the speaker is responding to him. I miss the Parliament where we entertain almost every time by yo. You can't do it now in Parliament. And we are watching and following. But what I would say to the members that are calling and supporting the Speaker of National Assembly is that the youth are following. And you're just putting yourself down as a big person instead of inspiring the youth. You are the one who is supporting the evil doing. Well, not really the evil doing, but the injustice of what the Speaker is doing. You cannot do that to the member of Parliament who was elected. So my last words are to the Speaker of the National Assembly. Tone down and respect the elected members of Parliament. Do not take sides, but instead be neutral. And we want to enjoy the Parliament. As the people that are listening and following, those were my submissions. I need the a Parliament where the whole country was groomed to, so that they should hear how their members of Parliament are getting. But now it has been reduced.
Thank you.
Those were my words, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwanza, there also adding his voice on this particular incident. Mr. Mwanza, who was calling us here from Lusaka, is saying they visited in Parliament as compared to the now, with few voices coming from the background, because then we had people who would freely express themselves, and it is not the case with what we are seeing today. So quite a number of opposing views on this particular incident, but you too can be part of this conversation with regards to what we are discussing this morning. In case you're just wondering, Bakolas, Bakamba Padichani. So yesterday, Mr. Binwe Ompundu, who's the Nkana Member of Parliament, was sent out of the floor of the House by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Madam Nelly Muti, after it was alleged that he did not act in the manner that was befitting a Member of Parliament because he pointed and used, language at Mr. Andeleki, who is also a Member of Parliament. So quite a number of opposing views coming there. I don't know if I'm able to get those messages, my director, or if I can have them on our screen so that we just see what others are saying with regards to these particular incidents. But of course, you too can be part of the conversation. Let us know what you have to say with this particular story. Did the Speaker of the National Assembly act in accordance by sending Mr. Binwa Ompundu out of Parliament? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. You're through to Camnet TV. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and you can go ahead with your contribution.
All right, I'm calling from Kafua, and I'm Kafua.
From Kafua.
Anyway, I just want to say a few words.
Mkwai.
But see that you are still in the last right? All of you will have to run by Angela, but this will. Baba time before the Volta, before I like the point, who are running everything of God. Only, Seman was what they all have a guarantee. They never speak up here, ever charging you, the last decade in our funeral. About one thing, I hope that they can go on to Kuala. Follow number one side of but no. So what I will see from for like that, people so I'm going to uni. And by everyone, otherwise, what is it? I never have one side. But whatever you see, you can't have the other side for that. Sakala quiet, so much than I wanted. But speak about that and Mama and get there and the guy will not come to home. So we will allow the Parasi and our fish. Nobody in the generation is going to change him. Please remember me the money from the
I'm quiet to a total for that contribution. Another view there coming from one of our member of the public from Kafua saying the Speaker did not act fairly. Quite opposing views on that particular incident. We've seen quite a number of people who've said the Speaker acted in accordance because, there is a way you conduct yourself when you are before the floor of Parliament. But others are saying, as a Member of Parliament, you should be given chance to exhaust, your point before the Speaker can come in and rule in anything. And of course, we did also see a caller who said the answer, when people go to Parliament, they seek answers. And in this particular incident, we did not see any answer that came out. But of course, according to him, he gave both perspective of the coin, where he said members of Parliament should be, wary when they are in Parliament. At the same time, they should also be given a chance to express themselves. So you too can be part of the conversation and let us know what you have to say. Hello, good morning.
Hey, Mama.
Twabuka fya bwino mkwai badishani.
Bueno, ndero
Landeni mkwai, mretumina kuisa. Mr. Zimba.
Yes.
Mkwai kuti balanda.
Na mwishwa,
Mkwai.
Bala moneka kufanya
Mkwai, Mr. Zimba.
That's why I'm that rather to let it Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zimba. They are equally adding his voice on this particular incident where he's saying we are not happy with the conduct of the Speaker because she is biased towards the ruling administration, and we have even now been forced to stop watching Parliament. Others have equally given us the perspective to say the Speaker did act in order because, you know, there is a way you conduct yourself when you are before the floor of the House. So we have at least gotten both opposing and proposing views on this particular incident. You can be part of the conversation. Let us keep conversating on this particular incident and also send us those messages on our Facebook page. I know I've been calling for my director to display some of those messages, but perhaps I can just try to go through some of them. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Sir, good morning. Thank you. You're through to Camnet TV. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, thank you. My name is Mr. Morris Banda.
Mr. Moses Banda.
Morris Banda.
Oh, Morris Banda. Mr. Morris, please go ahead with your contribution.
And I'm calling you from Vobwe.
Vobwe. How is Vobwe this morning?
Vobwe is okay.
Okay, Tuatotera, please go ahead with your contribution.
No, thank you so much. First of all, what I want to say is every institution, every house has got its own rules and regulations, of which its people they are mandated to follow. So the issue of Mr. Pino Mpondo, as others have indicated, it was supposed to be finally exhausted just from within his own, starting from his constituency or a nearby forest, maybe officer in charge. From there, they would have maybe, I'm sure the police as an institution is an independent institution where it has got all its leadership, of which the issue of criminal trespass could not even reach at the parliament. That could have been sorted out at the either maybe with the officer in charge, failure to that maybe district or provincial leadership, not even going as far as up to parliament. In a parliament there, in fact, there are rules already which are there, which are guiding the police officers on how they are supposed to do it. And whichever case that any individual commits, it has got on its own way, its own ruling within the police institution itself. So I don't think Mr. Pino was right to take that one even up to the parliament, trying to mean to say maybe the police failed to make a ruling or to dispose of this case. The issue of criminal trespass. It's not the first issue. Police have already sorted out this issue for several times for different individuals. I'm sure the issue was simply trying maybe to be a bit of politicized in one way or another, which was quite also a sheer waste of time to the rest of the, we are the people who are interested to listen to what is happening in our house there. We want to hear the environmental issues, the critical issues which are affecting the people, the things which can be sorted out and which the independent institutions, those should go to the independent institution. Thank you so much, madam. That is my contribution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Morris Nyambe. They are calling us from Vubwi, all the way from Vubwi, equally adding his voice to this particular incident. And he says, they are just important matters that we should be discussing in the floor of the House rather than, having everything taken before the floor of the House. According to him, that could have even been, addressed by the officer in charge on the copper belt before it was even brought before the floor of the House. So that is Mr. Morris Banda equally giving us a perspective on these particular incidents. We know that Mr. Mpondo indicated that he even visited the office of the Minister of Home Affairs to register his displeasure, but nothing happened. Perhaps maybe the question we should ask is, did he go to the officer in charge or the commissioner on the copper belt before going to the Ministry of Home Affairs? We are quite not sure about that, and we needed to have asked Mr. Mpondo on that. But we will during the course of the day, just to find out if all options were exhausted. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir. Akopa belti, chawa mamkwai. Mwatlanda tibana nishina? Mr. Mishek Mwaba, please go ahead with your contribution. Thank you so much, Ramishek Mwaba. They are calling us all the way from the Copper Belt, saying Mr. Binwe Mpondo is an independent member of parliament and he speaks for the people. So he should have been given a chance to express himself on this particular incident, even before he could be stopped from expressing himself by the Speaker of the National Assembly. So that was today's topic of discussion, though I know the issue of Mr. Mpondo has attracted a lot of attention and even diverted our topic this morning, where we were discussing our expectation in the 2024 national budget. I know it will be presented before Parliament, and of course what we were discussing also was regarding Parliament. But hey, I know there are quite a number of people who want to contribute on this particular incident, but this is where we just have to wrap up the program this morning. We could have loved to accommodate all of you up to 09 hours, but you know, due to emergencies, we have to just cut and do other things. But maybe before I go, let me just get a message from one or two people with regards to this issue, so that those who are joining us online cannot feel as though they have been left out on this particular topic of discussion this morning. So Mr. Philip Zulu saying, Honorable Mpondo was the witness, he was the source of the news. Since he was at the police in person, he didn't need to provide documents. That is according to Mr. Mpondo. Sama Mukungu, they are saying, following from Kitwendeke, the behavior of the speaker was wrong. Mr. Noel there, Adrias Muzoka, Camnet TV, I can't trace your interest in the business of Parliament in the first place. Nonetheless, the Honorable Member of Nkana should have given the answer from the police station that is holding the man in question. Parliament has rules on the need to be factual. Tell me if one or two police officers decided not to give a suspect bond or reasons now to them, does it make it right for the MP to condemn the Home Ministry? Come on, this is our country, and there is always a better way of doing things. Yes, of course, that is another contribution. And to Camnet, I can't trace your interest. Remember, this is a platform where we give all the people the voices to be heard. So that is our interest on this particular issue. Just as we've gotten your side of the story, we've gotten many other perspectives on this particular story to see if the speaker did act in accordance and what should we say going forward. So I have been your host for this program this morning, Prudence Chota, and my director, Elijah Chifita. Till next week, remember also, if you have to send us a news item or there is something happening in your area, you can call the numbers. But if you're unable to get to us, do send us a message on our Facebook page. I know we do respond quite quickly if you send on our Facebook page, but accompany the message with your number. There are certain instances when we receive tips like what happened yesterday. Someone was calling us from something very urgent. They sent us a message without including their number on our Facebook page. And when we sent them back, they took absolutely the whole day to respond to that particular message. So if you write us a message, please accompany it with your number, and that way we will be able to get quickly to you and visit your areas. For everyone who's been watching Camnet TV, we appreciate your viewership because we cannot exist without you, our viewer. For everyone who's called on this platform, your opinions, your contributions are well respected, regardless of where you stand on this particular incident. So till next time, it's bye for now, and God bless you.